All right. Welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. My girl, Tresa. Hey, Tresa.
Hey,
How you
hey,
doing?
everybody.
How you doing?
I am tired. I had a big move today, but I am tired. I'm a little hungry. So, talking about this food thing, I might have to go downstairs
We
and,
gonna hear
and,
you
and I
up.
might have to go downstairs and call up a Uber Eats because I don't feel like taking it. I'm
Oh, I
tired.
know that's right. Oh, yeah, no, that's too late. All right. So thank you so much for joining me, for agreeing to be on my show. It doesn't really have a
Yes.
name. It's just called The Show right now.
Okay.
The show where we talk about
Eat
cooking.
show.
That's the name.
Yes.
That's the name.
We're gonna call
Um,
it seasonings for right now. We're gonna call it seasonings.
there you go. Oh, you know what? I want to think that. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get it. Now, I was thinking about this before we started. I don't think I can remember one time where I ate something you could. We've never been in a space together where you have cooked. We're always like out at a restaurant or maybe at some other function or something, but not. I just remember one time I came up to your house and you had made something, you had tried something. You was like, "Hey, I tried this," and so I said, but I've never eaten anything that you've actually made except for that one
You
time. And we've
know,
been knowing each other for how many years now?
probably
20,
about what,
what,
27,
something,
26, 27
something
years.
years.
And that's bad. I'm like, wait,
Isn't that funny? I thought about that,
that's not
but I
cool when you
know
think
you.
about
I
it.
mean, I know you know how to cook. It's just we haven't been in the same spaces, like for whatever reason. Isn't that crazy?
So I remember Tammy had came over one time for a Thanksgiving that I did have in Jacksonville. You didn't come that time and
Mm-mm,
get no food because the kids was little at the time.
mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. So I'll be at your house next weekend. Well, let me see. Yeah, wait, when you put them pots and pans up and them plates and stuff, then you text me and let me know and I'll come on up
So
there.
that text ain't coming for a while, but go ahead. And I'm
All
tired
right.
already.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So
Mhm.
who taught you how to cook?
You know what? Queen Della. She taught me. So what basically, um, she used to make me come and she would make me stand in the kitchen.
Okay.
I was I was in my early teens and she'd be like, okay, Teresa, come on in here. You gotta learn, you need to see what I'm doing and stuff so you can learn how to cook. And I'd be like, okay, I used to just think it was you just throw stuff in the pot and just call it a day. But no, you actually had to do some stuff. So um yeah, I burnt out her kitchen one time. So
Oh
we're
no.
probably shouldn't. Yeah, I did. I did.
How?
Which
That is off
so
script, but
crazy.
please tell me how.
It was a grease fire. It was a grease fire. I was young. I probably was about 12 or 13. And I was keeping my little brother and I was keeping my niece. And what happened was they were little, and I think I got the food ready and I was going to give it to them, but I forgot to cut off the grease or
No.
whatever.
Oh.
So when I come back in, my neighbors is banging on the door because they could see the flames.
Mm-hmm.
And so they was like, it's a fire, it's a fire, it's a fire. So I was like, so I go and I get my baby brother and my niece. I picked them up and I walked them outside. Now, in my infinite wisdom, I decide that I said, oh my God, my mom's new furniture is about to get messed up. So I said, let me go back in here and save this furniture. So I run inside and I grab water. We're a grease fire. Now nobody had ever taught me about how to put out a grease fire.
Right, yeah.
And I fling the water on there and poof. And so the flames go. So guess what? Now I don't run. I go and get more water. So I'm trying to like do that. And then I'm running back and forth trying to save my mother's furniture. And I was like, she gonna get so mad. And that's the last thought that I thought, and I passed out. And my neighbors had to come and find me in the fire and drag me out. And I had to get oxygen. I had to. It's so crazy. Then my mama come home. She's like, "Girl, you tried to save our friend." I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be mad." She's like, "I don't care about no friends. I'm glad you all right." So yeah,
Oh God. Oh,
yeah,
that's funny. That is
yeah.
funny. Okay.
Mhm.
So, all right. So she brought you in the kitchen. She, told you to watch her as she cooked. Do you remember some of the first things that she actually let you cook? Like, what did you start off with? Do you remember? Or just can you remember anything that you would cook for maybe your little brother or?
No, everything was always real quick, like because I wasn't never like really there a long time, just to cook for him. I remember my first meal though, because you remember I got married when I was 19.
Mhm.
So I do remember my first meal that I made
Okay.
as a married woman. And I was so proud of myself. Do you remember those little Salisbury steaks inside that little red box or whatever? I had got some Salisbury steaks. I had got some instant potatoes and some corn in a can and
Mhm.
some pop-up biscuits.
Oh.
And baby, I just knew I did that thing. Whew, everything was in sit up in that mug. I just knew I did. So it wasn't until after that and then getting pregnant that I took cooking a whole lot more seriously. Like that's when I started calling mommy for like recipes and stuff and like mommy how you cook this, and started trying to make stuff from scratch because I didn't start off doing that whole thing from
Mhm.
scratch. It
Mhm.
wasn't until my glorious aunties and mom and grandmas clown me for all my instant stuff. It wasn't until they did that because they was like instant, like
Mhm.
they was offended. You know what I'm saying? Because they old Southern black women, they was offended. And so I had to learn how to start doing stuff from scratch. And I've been doing it ever since.
So, okay, so you would call your mom or call your aunt or somebody like, hey, can you
Mhm.
cook? So let's say for instance, I didn't know how to cook chicken. I called you and I'm like, Tresa, I don't know. I got these chicken legs or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, chicken legs. And I want to put them in the oven, but I don't know what to put on. I mean, I know I put salt and pepper on it, but what else should I put on it? What if I put too much? Like, what would you say?
So this is something that I learned, and I end up running into a young man the other day. I won't say young; he's about middle 30s or whatever. And he was like, "I don't know how to cook." And I told him, I said, season your food until you can smell it. Um, of course, the base seasoning for me is always some seasoning salt. When you say, well, how much will that be? To me, I think the only thing I could kind of tell you is that if you look at it and it's a little bit red or whatever from the seasoning salt, then that's enough to me. I would probably say if I was to measure that out and you're cooking, I wouldn't cook chicken legs, but I would cook some chicken wings.
Mhm.
So I would say I'm gonna say about 3 tablespoons
Okay.
of seasoning salt.
Mhm.
Just trying to just
Yeah.
get them all over and trying to, and then after that, I would add like if I wanted some lemon pepper or if I wanted I like a smoky kind of taste like the hickory.
Mhm.
So I would get like the hickory seasoning and
Mhm.
then I would coat my chicken really good with that. And then after that, that's when I would put it and if I smell it
Mhm.
and it smells good, then that's when I will put it inside the oven. And
Mhm.
usually when people have my food, they're like, wow, this is really good because it's seasoned really well. And that's only because I said to myself, if you can smell the seasonings and everything, then it's going to taste good.
Okay.
Now, what I use salt, I don't use regular salt too much, only maybe as an after
Right.
um with that because there's so much sodium in the other stuff.
Right.
Pepper too, because I believe that right there, like if they need to put anything else, then that's on them to put that on there. Definitely if I was cooking potatoes though, like if I was cooking like a French fries or like any type of potato, yeah, I'm going to use salt. And what my granddaddy used to do, because he was a chef, he will pour salt in his hand and he would do like this so he can, and I don't know, to me it was like his own little grinder from his hand, but it's like he was doing like his own little coating. So if that was like, I would say that would be a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons inside my palm to do it like that. But yeah, but I'll be honest, I am still 42 years old and I have not perfected how to fry chicken. I cannot, my chicken just does not come out. You know what I'm saying? My mom, she could go in there, and even my baby brother, he could go in there and he could cook up some good chicken. But it's like mine's always seem to just not be done. And I'll be like, oh my God, I don't know why. I can't do it. So if anybody's watching this and sending prayers, on the new season show, go ahead and send up a prayer for my fried chicken. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
So did you teach your daughter how to cook?
Yes. I made her come and start standing inside and everything. Now, Azaria, she's always wanted to get on there and she always wanted to learn herself ever since I've had her in the kitchen ever since she was 2 to 3 years old. I had her with her own little apron. And, of course, for Christmas time, we're making homemade cookies, what I'm saying, from scratch and everything. And we're just doing all this stuff. So she's been having her hands inside the kitchen ever since she's been like 2 to 3 years old. And now she could go ahead and she could cook up a big meal. Like, she sent me a picture of her stuff the other day. I was very proud because when I was her age, I used to cook up a whole bunch of meat on a Sunday, and then throughout the week I'll just divvy up the meat, and I will cook different sides because I was so busy being a college student, being a mother and everything. So that's how me and her got through.
So if you could give, so you actually given a lot of tips and things like that, but if you could, is there anything else that you would say to someone who was learning how to cook?
So I would say to that person, just like I told to the young man the other day, sing to your food.
Did you say sing?
I did.
Really?
Sing to your food. If you can have and if you understand soul food, a lot of times the women was in there, or whoever was cooking was in there, they probably was humming, they probably was doing stuff, getting through. But if you sing to your food, honey, you would touch some stomachs. It's something about when you sing to your food, or the attitude that you have while you're trying to cook a meal, that comes off into your meal.
There you go. Yeah.
So that's to be honest, that is the key to me. That's the key to soul food.
Yeah.
If you sing to your food, you have a happy, demeanor when you're trying to do this. If you could smell your seasonings and everything on there, and if it touches, to me, if it like touch a specific taste, like, okay, it touches like my sweet potato pies, it has to hurry up and touch that sweet taste, almost to like a candy. You know what I'm saying? Today, like, okay, so when you bake it, a little bit of the flavor will come out, but you already know the basis of your flavor is going to be good. Oh, also, I would tell another trick that my grandma always told me. She says, if you are seasoning stuff with a lot of salt, put a pinch of sugar in it, and it'll bring out the boldness of the salt. Or if you got a lot of sweetness, like inside my sweet potato pies or something, you just throw a dash of salt inside of there, and that would make your sweetness even bolder. She even does that to her coffee, and she took just a tap of salt inside her coffee. And when I tell you that's some of the best coffee that I've ever tasted because it's so bold.
Yeah.
So just some of the quick little tips that I could tell you.
I
You know.
was thinking about that. It's funny you said that because I was thinking about that the other day. So like my stepmom is a really good cook. My mom is an excellent cook as well. And both of them, not so much now, but just really loved cooking and feeding people. And their
Mhm.
food is, is just so good. And I just thought, what is it that make, I know that they know how to cook, but it's got to be something about that love of cooking and love of wanting to share the food with other people that really, really made it so good. Now, I'm gonna be honest, say I don't like cooking, but I don't love it like that either. It's weird because I have a cooking show. I'm in culinary school. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm just
Right.
saying. But so the other day I was making something and I was just like, you know what? I love my daughter. I love my daughter. I'm making this for me and her. I love
That's
I was
it.
like, because I
That's
really
it.
didn't feel like doing it. But I was like, nope, I love my daughter. I love, nope, you know what I mean? It was, and that's just so funny. That's so funny though. But I think
Now,
it's
how
cool.
did that food come out though?
I can't remember. You know what was it? I don't remember what it was. It was, I'm sure it was good. I probably would have remembered that it wasn't. So
Right.
yeah.
Because sometimes if you rush something, it'll taste like it was rushed because you be like, man, you know what? I could have stopped and added this.
Mhm.
So when somebody is loving their stuff, they're loving it, they're tasting it, and making sure they're like, oh man, just like what's that movie? Princess and the Frog. When she tastes it, she's like, 3 parts of this. Pop, pop, pop. Then she takes it, she's like, that's the bee's knees. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you just have to, like I said, sometimes you just have to add just a little extra. So I never go, okay. And another thing about me when it comes down to following not ingredients, but following instructions and stuff, that's just my baseline because I would taste it. And I'm like, you know what? I need to add more of this, this, this. You know what I'm saying? Butter. I'm always going like it was a saying, everything tastes better with bacon, butter, and cheddar.
Mhm.
So you just throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? You want to get that extra creamy, buttery like taste, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's also too about trial and error. And I think that that was the biggest thing that I had to, I don't like to make mistakes. I do
mm,
not like to make, I don't like for something to be wrong.
oh my
And so if I do something and it's not right, ooh, that just crushes my spirit.
god.
And so I'm like, you know what? I don't because I'll be like, you know what? I don't even want to try no more. I don't want to do it no more. I'm done. I think that's why I went to culinary school because I was like, all right, I'm tired of continuously trying and I'm getting it wrong because for some people it's just not as easy as some people make it look. It's just not for some people.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I thought that was very interesting. So we're gonna wrap it up, but what is like either a dish that you like to make or just like maybe something like a quick dish that you might cook up on a weeknight? Do you even cook anymore? I don't know, because it's just you. I mean, what I mean, it's not just you, but you know what I mean.
No, you're right. Because see, for one, you know I'm newly married. And ouch, this darn wardrobe malfunction. Yeah. Didn't mean for that to be a part of the thing, but that's not going back on. Anyways, my main thing was he asked me to marry him one night. And I told him, I said, listen here, I ain't cooking every day. I'm just not gonna do it. So I said, so if you gonna marry me, you gonna understand. You gonna have to find yourself a food on many a nights because I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
My child, 21 years old. I don't need to be sitting up in there cooking no nutritious meal. I used to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh no, honey.
Right.
Oh no. So my go-to is that I do love cooking Mexican food.
Okay.
Now I do want to go ahead and like do something real quick. I'll go and get some enchilada sauce. I don't eat beef. I don't know if you knew that. I haven't had beef
Didn't know
since
that.
2004. So, but I would do. What would I do? I would get the enchilada sauce, go and get some ground chicken. I love using ground chicken because it holds on to the flavor to me a whole lot more than ground turkey. Um, I'll mix that up. I'll get those tortillas. I'll get some refried beans, slap them refried beans on that tortilla after I done cooked up the meat and season it with a whole bunch of Mexican seasoning. Like I said, I gotta smell it. Slap that inside there, roll that up, throw that inside the pan with the enchilada sauce. Put a whole bunch of them in there, throw the enchilada sauce on there, some cheese on top of it, and child, throw that in the oven. Oh yeah. Throw it in the oven for about, I think about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
On 400. Girl, please. That thing come out so good, and you throw some sour cream on the side, and you got yourself a meal.
So
Either
what are
that
your
off tacos.
what are your Mexican seasonings?
Oh, whatever the little yellow peg say.
Oh, I thought you meant like, okay. I thought you meant like different, like individuals. Okay. I was
It
like,
has,
what's your combination, girl? Okay.
girl, combination say, and what it say? God, like, golly, what's the taco thing? But we ain't giving no
No,
free.
yeah, no. No, I know what you're talking about. No,
Up in here, and
I got
we
you.
we mm,
I got you. Oh, well, I have had so much fun. Thank you, friend.
yes, honey, I want some food right now, child. Oh, well, what's your favorite go-to now? Even though you don't like cooking.
Oh my gosh, do I have a go-to? Let me think for a second. Do I have a go? You know what, to be quite honest with you, my go-to is probably a rotisserie chicken.
Wow.
No, not cooking it, buying it.
Oh, like wow, like you get the
No, your
whole
girl is not in here.
rotisserie.
No, that you know what? If I don't, especially well, like especially if I don't feel like it, but like rotisserie chicken, and then I might, you know, either make some like garlic green beans or something, or some sweet potatoes. I like to cut up sweet potatoes and roast them.
Mhm.
You know, broccoli. I love broccoli, stuff like that. But as far as like a go-to meal that I actually cook, I'm trying to think. Do I have a go-to? I don't think I have a go-to. I cook all kinds of random stuff. I don't really have like a go-to. My go-to is that rotisserie chicken that I don't have to
Wow,
cook.
that is too funny.
I
That
know
is
it
funny.
is. That's so crazy because but you know, I think like I have some things that I'll do quick. So like if I have like shrimp, I'll, you know, saute some shrimp and maybe
Oh,
do
yes.
something. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe if I have some leftover pasta sauce, maybe boil some pasta, mix in stuff. Like if it's just something like real quick and I just like need something quick to eat, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Well, you know what? You talked about meat, and I know we're to the end of the thing, but I wanted to add something that my most thing that I am proud of that I can do really, really good is mashed potatoes.
okay.
I
I'm gonna have to bring you back on and we're gonna have to talk about the mashed potatoes. I
am
love mashed
very proud of
potatoes.
my mashed potatoes. I mean, when I tell you that because
Mm-hmm.
I came from instant. But the stuff that you have to just add, which might seem so, I want to say the S word, but you said I can't.
Nope.
But it's not. Yeah, I want to say the S word. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, whenever you want to talk about the mashed potatoes, but I will say, because we talked about meat, I will say my favorite side to make that I know it's gonna be slamming is my mashed potatoes. And not only my mashed potatoes, but my macaroni and cheese is really good, but my mashed potatoes, and
Okay.
that's all I
So
say about it.
you bring the mashed potatoes, I'll pick up a rotisserie chicken.
Okay, it's a meal though, right? Just let
It
me get the
sure
little off of there. It's a meal. You can have any other part of the chicken, friend.
is.
And that just means you. Okay. God dog, I ain't had rotisserie in a while, so now I kind of
That's
want
funny.
me. Yes. So
All
any
right.
other questions?
No, that's it.
All
All
right.
right,
So
girl. Thank
bye, season
you.
friends.
Bye.